to get around to this one for a little bit. Now that every reviewer under the sun already has a video on it. Hey, this one was a surprise and a great favor. This is the Sturdy one from the company Sturdy. The modder is, or the designer is Joe Sturdy, J-O Sturdy is the name he goes by. He's a guy from, I think he's from Malaysia, somewhere, or, you know, something Philippine area, very known for making, you know, being tied together with the Dot AIO, a lot of Dot accessories, things like that. Yeah, so it's a very small RBA. We're gonna jump right into some features about it. And kind of going along with that trend, for instance, here's our micro RBA. And here is our Sturdy. The Sturdy's got a little bit more going on with the base of it. It's a little wider. But this chimney is also a little thinner. But, you know, relatively speaking, yeah, I guess it's going to be a little bigger. But then again, it's also maybe just a smidge shorter. But either way, small footprint seems to be the trend right now for these RBAs. I mean, we've had the Psych, the Kirch, Psych, Eden, the Dope is very small, you know, so there's a lot of small. The Mob Mini is small, some iterations, especially if you take the crown off. So yeah, this is definitely a small one. And speaking of Mob Mini, you see this kind of juice flow port, very Mob Mini-esque, you know, nice and round. A little more height on it this time, and then a little more, yeah, round, not squarish in any way. So that's usually a good sign. Now, I'm pretty positive this is made in China somewhere. Got some interesting tooling marks on that deck. You got a nice little jig rest area, which is also part of your juice flow port, kind of like how, you know, a lot of RTAs do, a lot of VWM, stuff like that. We got some elevated posts here with flathead screws. Interesting choice. I see a lot more grub screws these days, but, you know, flathead's still a thing. And then this little piece, which usually these collars are made of metal, but not this one. Oh, and we have a numbered airflow. That's a 3. Some kind of serial number. It's a long number. They just came out with clones of this too. I think this was like $100 or around that, like $90. I want to thank Nathanial Corey. He actually sent this to me, you know, free to review. It was a nice thing for him to do, and you know, a favor for me and you know, viewers of the channel. So big shout out to Nathaniel for doing this. And yeah, tolerance is very nice. That went on very nice. And as you see, there's no O-rings, so that's another good thing that's starting to become more common. I mean, I don't mind O-rings that much for decks, especially when they're done right. Like on like the Haku Zeta or any of the Mob Minis I've had have been good. This is reverse threaded, now I'm thinking about it. Not too many threads, which is good. You don't really need tons of threads. Super slender kind of chimney that we got going on here. But yeah, shallow condensed chamber should be good. And of course, you guys know that this is also interchangeable with the Dot AIO. Here's the box that the Sturdy one comes in. It's kind of confusing, right? It's like, okay, the brand is Sturdy and this RBA is called the One. You have like an RDA called the One, right? So maybe, right? You know, even though like he's like you know, from like an Asian ethnicity, maybe it's like a kind of like a nod to like a like a Scottish Irish thing or something, like sturdy one, like, oh, it's a sturdy one. I don't know. It's something like that. Sturdy one. Sure is a sturdy one, I'll tell you. I like, however you want to call it. Maybe it's really called the one RBA. I don't know. But I hear most people say it as one thing. Like it's the sturdy one. Okay. Works for me. Here's the other collar. Suppose this is the one that goes with the dot. When I received it, it was already set up pretty dot-like. And I don't think the guy that gave me this even has a dot AIO, so you have to use a different chimney. I'm not going to use... I know one of the reviewers have used it in dot formation. I'm not going to. Actually, I just realized I can't even do that anymore. I went from 3 dot platforms to none. I'd get another one at some point. I still have tons of Dot RBAs laying around, just nothing to use them with. A 1, a 2, 2.5, and a 4. So we're going full DL here and pretty much full MTL here, and we got most of our middle grounds. I like this coverage in terms of airflow. If I were to add one more, I'd actually put like a middle ground, like a 1.5. Not even for me per se, I just mean in general. I mean, you could do 3, 3.5, 4, but I don't really think that's necessary. I think a nice little middle ground MTL would be good. Or diehard MTL enthusiasts may want a 0.8 or 0.9, but that's something I can't even mess with. So, okay. So we're gonna, and you know, standard looking dot type deal. All the dots got plugs. That's why I'm curious to try one of those P tanks out, because it actually... Or no, wait. No, never mind. That doesn't have a sliding glass. I'd like to see a dot type deal, but with sliding glass. I'm surprised we don't really have that yet. But I'm sure it'll happen one of these days. This like ridiculous manual with it, which is pretty cool, with like an exploded diagram of all the parts to it. Here's some specs on it. Parameters they used. Structure. Conversion. Wow, it even shows you how to switch it from dot to Boro, so that's cool. Yeah, pretty, look, there you go, Joe Sturdy. Here's all his information and whatnot. And I guess this is it in a different language. Yes. Okay. Little accordion type pamphlet. And yeah, so let's check it out. It says SS on it, stainless steel, so maybe there will be black or DLC versions at some point, or titanium, gold, I don't know. Who knows? It seems like it's doing well reputation-wise, so maybe we will see more for this particular product. All right, here it is. Now, I've been using this for, I don't know, at least a week. Probably, God, for all I know, 2 or 3 weeks. Time goes by so fast. So I'm going to run it as is. What we have in here at the moment, we have a Curated coil in here. Crack City, 0.28. Yeah. However, for me... it's reading, actually on here it's reading a 0.28. When I have it in the mod, it's usually, I've been seeing 0.3, okay? I have it like slightly spaced. Yeah, we're just gonna throw in BP cotton right away. You know, when you pull off your own strands, it's like hit or miss. Sometimes you pull off the perfect piece, and other times it's just janky. If you can see it or not. So that is that's good tension right there. Actually, I could lose a little. See what I'm doing? I'm pulling off just some frays at the top. And then now I have this extra clump here. So I'm thinning my cotton out like well ahead of time, and it's not like I'm thinning out a side of it. I'm thinning out the inner dimension of it. Because cotton tension, if I don't say it enough, is extremely important for how saturated, how well your shit will wick. It's not only just having your juice flow ports dammed up properly. You know, you don't want them choked off, and you don't want the actual or the coil itself choked off internally, the inner diameter of it. So that's just like a reference cut right there. And we'll do our 45s. Like from the top and from the bottom. It's just like little triangular cuts from all corners of this thing. You know, Vaping Vic or Vaping with Vic used to call it not Richard Vic, used to call it the bow tie method. But then I even cut that bow tie down further, you know, into more triangular cuts. I've been using this recently. I got this juice brand. I've featured this on the channel before in vlogs. Dolce. This is the classic cannoli one. However, I'm not using this. I'm going to be using this one, which is called Frangelico. And it reminds me exactly of this. Cyclops Vapors, or Cyclops Vapor Hades. Roasted coffee flavor. This juice is extremely old. I just keep it around because this is the first juice I ever bought. He said like hazelnut, coffee, cappuccino. I don't know. It's got some coffee elements. There may be a little more VG or PG in it than I'm used to. I usually like very high VG, and PG can kind of gross me out at times. So yeah. And this may need to be cut down just a tiny bit more. We'll see. It says sturdy on both sides. I've seen some custom ones with some unique writing on them. One is like these little triangular, looks like the Freemason symbols or something. I don't know what it was. Jason from Coils had it. Oh, maybe that's his own symbol. I don't know. Okay, just need to take a tiny bit off that. And then we get our trusty red Coil Master flathead to tuck this in just a tiny bit. Maybe a little bulky in there, but like I said, at least this is a higher PG content. And then, like I said before, I use my finger. So what you just seen is the wet wicking technique, right? I didn't create it, but I definitely use it a lot, and I talk about it a lot because that's all I use for wicking everything at this point. I guess except RDAs, because that's a little different. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, with all my RBAs and most of my RTAs, I wet everything first, and then I assemble my top caps so I can perfectly place my cotton at the juice flow ports. Works great. If you are someone who struggles with wicking, try the wet wicking technique. It does wonders. It's a great thing to do. I feel other people are adopting it, and I like to see that. I like to see it work for people. Anyhow, yeah, cheap SXK tank. It's old, but it gets the job done. And it's clear, so I can see what's going on. Alright, so we're in there. We are set up. What we're running at, y'all, is a .30, 28 watts. I could probably bump her up, y'all. It's on about like 32, maybe. Like I said, we're running a 3mm airflow pin. Ooh, listen to that. Sounds pretty nice, yeah? Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. Now, mind you, I also have a boost feature going on here. So if you look at my boost, it goes up to 42 watts for a sec there. Alright, so what's going on with this thing, right? I really like it. I know I just said that about the last RBA we did, but I gotta say this one's really good too. And I think the public is kind of picking up on that as well. I think this has been really well received. And you're basically, I mean, people that were considering getting the micro, you're, if you were to get this instead, I mean, you're saving yourself like $100 right there. And is it going to be, is the micro going to be that much better than this? No, it's not. They're going to behave very similarly. The micro, I mean, the one edge that has is it's like really unique chimney size. That's what really makes it vape quite differently. Otherwise, it's going to be like the same thing. Actually, I may argue. I mean, I think the wicking ports on this are really good. I think it's a great shape. It's not over. They didn't overdo it. It's a nice like Mob Mini, OG Mob Mini size. You know, when they did the Mob 2 DL with those real tall ports, I thought that was a bit overkill. Because then it's like, I like to use a 2.5 inch diameter, so now I'm having to use like I can't thin the cotton. I don't know. It's like I end up putting, I like to really thin my stuff out, so it's like, then it's like I overdo it, and then I can't have it full enough in that port. So like, this port being a good size but not overkill, I think was a good move. I think you don't need to overdo it like that. You know, I have these tails are hanging out just a little bit, a tiny bit, which I usually have them totally flush, if not even, you can't really recess it. It has to cover the gap, but far back as I can, just to keep it as saturated as possible. You know, and I can talk shop about this kind of shit all day, but you know, for your sake and my sake, I mean, I try to come up with a nice balance of, you know, keeping things concise, and I try to edit a little tighter now, to like, out of like respect for everyone's time trying to watch it, you know what I mean? But you know, I don't want it to seem choppy either. You know, still want it to have like that natural flow. So I'm not going to cut out everything, but you know, I will, for my final thoughts, I'll ramble a bit, because why not? That's the end result, right? I mean, we talk about wicking it and the build or whatever, everyone's probably going to come up with the same shit, but how you respond to the RBA, how you get along with it, is going to be different video to video, person to person. So the guy that gave me this, he didn't get along with it well. Why? I don't know, because I like it a lot. I think it's perfect, honestly. I mean, it's a great size, and it wicks fast, and the flavor is good. I mean, the flavor is, you know, with this size chamber and everything, like, I feel like a lot of the flavor is going to all be on par. I think it's a lot has to do with your, it's all air and wicking ability, right? You know, I'd like to see people get a little more creative with the chimneys. You know how we've seen the wider chimney? Well, how about now we do like a vase? You know, go a little more crazy with the vase type shapes. Like how VWM, you know, they can make a real narrow neck and then have it come out again, shit like that. I think that is a good move. You know, it's hard to get creative with this stuff anymore. This RBA, if it came out a couple of years ago, probably would have been a way bigger deal. But you know, Sturdy is a pretty simple accessory company. You know, so the fact that he came out with an RBA finally, is good. I'm glad. And a good one at that. You know, they didn't have to go crazy. Um, like it has my usual claim to fame features that I love. Reverse threaded chimney. Doesn't have any O-rings on the deck. It's got a threaded base. Those are right away. It's got a lot going for it. You know what I mean? Like I said, it said stainless steel on the box, so we may see black ones and gold ones and fucking purple ones. Who knows? But yeah, as is, I'm very happy with it. I'm going to continue to use it. So yeah, it's gonna be staying in my regular rotation of RBAs. That's for sure. Some kind of are hit and miss for me, but the last couple ones I did, I liked a lot. The Voltro was in, but the micro and this are definitely my style, my kind of thing. So, all right, that's enough of that. And until next time, I really don't know what the next video is going to be, but you know, I'll figure it out. So, I'll see yous. And until then, y'all take care. All right, bye.